Long time no speak. Hi guys. So I am going to talk today. We're just gonna talk. We're just gonna do a little chit chat. I absolutely love my videos where I'm just talking. I don't have a script. I don't have like a blog connected to it. Right now, we're in the phase of whatever comes to our mind, we're gonna speak it because it's authentically me. And usually it comes out and it always comes out perfect. Sometimes, knock on wood. So today I have been thinking about my journey in college and why I took the steps that I did. For those who don't know, I got pregnant when I was 19 years old, and I had no idea on what I was going to do, on how I was going to be a mom. And a little background on me: I grew up in the foster care system. I've had many of moms. I have many of examples of what to be and what not to be. And so like that wasn't the issue. The issue was connecting and knowing that they did stuff that was good and bad, that affected me and made me who I am today. Although I persevered through a lot of the negative stuff, I have also got really positive things. And I just didn't want to continue to push that onto my child. So first thing that I did is I looked into what education could I get into that was going to intermix with me being a parent, because I'm still afraid of doing something that was going to hurt my children. And so I sat down with my advisor, and she thought the best thing that you could do right now possibly is early childhood development. Opened my eyes when I think about how much parents do not know what they're doing. We really just don't know what we're doing, and we're just thrown into this parenting life, although some of us put ourselves in there, right? A lot of us are just thrown into it, not knowing how much more difficult it really truly is going to be. And when I took I feel like for me, I was a little bit more prepared only because I took my early childhood development classes and my courses in the books, and I took that stuff so literal because not only did I connect it with who I was going to be as a mom, I connected with who I was as a child. And it healed a lot within me. I will say I did go through a period where I just was so upset and angry at the fact that a lot of these adults in my life treated me like I was not a child going through trauma. They treated me like I should have my stuff together. Not really taking into account that, A, I was not with my original parents, the people who brought me into this world. 2, I was back in the 90s, most kids didn't stay in a home longer than 6 months. They moved you around. 3, it was a lot going on that I wasn't explained to. I was told I was a child, but I had to it made no sense to me as a kid. Fast forward to college days, understanding how important it is for a child to have stability, how important it is for a child to know when their next meal is coming, or where they're going to lay their head next, or hey, guess what? Your mom lost her rights. Do you know what that means? No, well, I guess you'll have to figure it out later because we're going to start taking pictures of you and you're going to be up for adoptions in a few weeks. Oh! Interesting. And then on top of that, they put you in therapy with people who, in my opinion, view the child as the problem. And so anytime a child's coming into their office, they instantly think the child's the problem, not thinking, what is going on back at home? Could it be these parents that we're sending these children to without actually doing psychiatrical valuations on these people? Could it be them? No, it's the child, it's the trauma, it's the child. Phew. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, I took early childhood and development, opened my eyes to how much unprepared we parents are. I feel like you should take some type of parenting course. Some type of course that you have to sit in, understand your child, know that your baby can't be freaking spoiled. A toddler isn't whining half the time. I will say this. Sometimes they are just whining just to whine. But sometimes there's a reason. They just can't communicate it. Anyhow, so after that, I decided that I also wanted to do more. I got my associate's degree. Got my associate's degree. And I was like, you know what? I got pregnant with my second baby. I was like, you know what? I think I want a second degree. So I went and I was going to be an elementary elementary preschool teacher. That's what I originally wanted to be. So I'm in these courses. And let's move on from parents and let's move on to educators. I have never met it's you mean people, either mean girls, mean people just either become educators or they become CNN, whatever, nurses, whatever. They become those two, and I don't understand because they both have to deal with human relationships, having to deal with understanding the patients, the students. Why? And a lot of these people that I was going to school with, and I'm like, are you not understanding that a lot of people are coming from, you're bringing in children from different cultures, different areas of their life, where Jimmy might come in and he has two parents. And then Sarah comes in, and Sarah didn't get her homework done because she doesn't have a table to get her homework done. And she has to take care of 5 younger siblings. But yet you expect Jimmy and Sarah to both have their crap together. And guess what? I don't care. That's not my issue. Flabbergasted. Maybe I'm triggered because I was that kid that was expected to have all my crap together and I had all of my issues going on. Neither here nor there. So I ended up getting pregnant a 3rd time, right? During this time. And it's not, and I want you to know these degrees are like 2 to 3 years spread apart. So I'm not just banging and bumping and dropping children here and there. No, I was almost done. All I needed to do was do I think I had 3 months of student teaching, like in the classroom. I forgot what it's called, but it's when you go into the classroom and you kind of help the teacher. You don't help the teacher, you shadow the teacher practically. I needed to be in a school, and then I also had a endorsement in special education, and I needed 3 months also in there. And so by the time that hit, crap happens, and my lovely last child was being born, so we switched it up real quickly, and I was able to graduate that May instead of waiting until the next May because I had all of my credits to get instead of becoming a teacher, I got my elementary education studies. That means I did all the studying. I just didn't go into the classrooms to get my teaching degree and be able to take the practicogram. I'm saying that wrong. Sorry, it's in the morning. Anyways, I got all that done, and I was able to graduate that May. I told myself no more degrees, okay? There's no reason for that, because by the time my next kid was going to be born, it would have started that fall, that next term. There was no need for me to start. So I gave myself 2 months, and I decided, you know what sounds really, really good? A master's degree. Let me go get my master's degree. Okay, the lady, when I was talking to her, bless her heart, she was like, what are you interested in? I was like, what do you guys got? So she was like, are you interested in leadership? I'm like, bang, boom, let's try that. I would love to know about leadership. Open my door again. See, every single one is just step. Leadership. The fact that we have so many incompetent leaders running this world, not even just this world. Think about families. Imagine the men and women who are running their families into the dirt, not even knowing that their leadership is what is doing it. And I wrote many pages. I didn't know how, seriously, one of my pages, as long as I've ever written a page, maybe, don't quote me, 30 pages, on micromanagement, because I wanted to know what causes micromanagement in parenting, in schools, in jobs, in everything. What causes micromanagement? And I came to the conclusion is insecurities. And oh my goodness, argue with your mama, it is insecurities. And now that I know what micromanagement is, the ins and outs of it, I can snoop in micromanagement 30 feet away. And there's only so much you can do as somebody who has all this knowledge and not the time. And to say all this, to talk about my degrees, to talk about what I did to get to where I am, where my education is. I am in a time right now in my life where I am in still water. I feel like one of these days, I'm going to be able to use everything that I have. knowledge-wise. I'm not being used in the way that I would like to be used, as in like maybe running a business or something like that. I don't know where to start with that, or even just in my job, I'm just not being used. I'm put on a shelf for other reasons we will not be speaking, but I feel like things happen for a reason. You learn things, you build stuff, you build knowledge for a reason. And it might not make sense at the time, but when you look back at it, it is astronomical on how much impact it has on how you view the freaking world. I have spoken to very few friends, because rarely do I have people like this in my life. I'm being completely honest. I have had many of friends with different, no, I'm not gonna lie, I really don't. Rarely do I ever get friends that think differently than me. That could sound bad, but I like having nice people around me. I like people who think about their neighbor, who can empathize and sympathize with people. I value time, and I value those who are around me, and I truly believe that your company reflects who you are. Even if you're not saying something, your company reflects exactly who you are. And so I personally just don't have mean people in my life. I don't want mean people in my life. I'm not a mean person. I'm very bubbly. I'm very happy. I like to, if people were to explain me, I'm very energetic. I'm very positive. And I want the best for everybody, besides like 3 people who absolutely hate and despise with my very deep soul. But other than that, like, I just want everybody else to be successful. Occasionally, I'll allow like 2 people in my life that have opposite views, just so that I'm not in a loop of everybody thinks like me, the world is great. No, I have to be reminded that the world is not, okay? And whenever I ask them, why do you think like that? You know, I don't try to shame them in that aspect, but I do want to know why. Why do you think? And it's always what they take in, is what their knowledge. When's the last time they picked up a freaking book? I always say in my other videos, I can tell who you are as a person with when's the last time you touched some grass or something green, or when's the last time you read a book or drink some water. I can pretty much tell the type of person you're going to be as soon as I ask that question, and that has not steered me wrong. But specifically, when's the last time you read a book? Or when's the last time you looked outside of your own source? Like, if you tell me that you get your news sources from Instagram, Facebook, girl, wrong person to be freaking talking to, okay? I am 1 step away from getting my doctorate. I refuse to communicate with somebody that tells me that I should listen to them because they heard it from Facebook. And then when I hit them with facts, they're like, oh, that could be AI. Oh, but Facebook's not. Please. I got into an argument with somebody the other day, and they're like, I refuse to look at any scholars because they're all liberal. What do you mean by that? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with, why can't you as a person, let's just say that is true. All liberals all scholars are liberal. Why can't you as a person then decipher what you're going to take and what you're not going to take from the information, but still educate yourself? Because I feel like a clock can be right twice a day, right? That's the saying. And there is nothing wrong with also hearing what somebody else has to freaking say. It gives you a different, and when you're stuck in that loop, and this is why I leave those 2 people in my life that constantly remind me that, hey, there are people like this out there. It's not La La Land. People literally have not touched grass in forever. We live in a world with people who don't value knowledge anymore, and it's so freaking frustrating because I knew as soon as I knew I was gonna have a kid. As soon as I recognized that, my little self went straight into early childhood and development, and even up until maybe on my like 30 days before my child was born, I was like, I was in a classroom, I was working with children, I was getting to know children, I was involving myself around that. I was not, because before then, you could ask anybody, I did not really truly enjoy itty bitties. I had a hard time, self-trauma. Let's be honest, it's more than likely that I was having internal conflict within myself of being insecure of children because I wasn't taken care of, so I didn't know how to act and react around them. Imagine if I passed that on to my children and I didn't go and educate myself and I didn't go and see how beautiful babies and children truly are when you don't have to take care of them. Because side note, I also was given the job of a caretaker of my younger siblings at a young age. Neither here nor there. And so I always was just like, I don't want to babysit. I was not the person that would volunteer to be in charge of little children because I was given that at the age of 7 to take care of my younger siblings. And I didn't want to continue that. All wrapped into one. Imagine if I passed that on to my children. My children would never know. My daughters, my son, I feel like they do not know the battles in which I am battling every single day because I feel like I do such an amazing job. If you see my children are just like me. They're happy, they're bubbly, they're not like who I was as a kid, and I am forever grateful for that. But I also have to give it to you is that knowledge is power. And knowledge has kept me from passing on generational trauma. And I feel like in this world, specifically, we have a lot of people who are like, I just don't understand. I picked up a bad apple, recognized it was a bad apple, threw it behind me, ran after it, picked up the same bad apple. Why is it still a bad apple? Because it's a freaking bad apple. Okay, it's not even, or what bothers me, they pick up a bad apple, throw the bad apple, pick up another bad apple and say, you know what, this one's gonna be it. It's the same exact thing. It's a bad freaking apple. Like you can't even conversate with these people. All that to say, knowledge is power. And pick who you have around you wisely. Never be the smartest person in the room. You will never see me happily in a room where I'm smarter than everybody. I surround myself with older women. The power I feel when I'm in a room with older women who have experienced things outside of what I've experienced, and I get to learn from them. I get to gather what they have, and I instantly feel inspired to be like, hey, if they can do that, I can do this. Like if they're giving me the that I don't have to go down that path that they have, then I'm going to take that full-fledged and I'm gonna bounce, and I'm going to make sure that what they have bestowed upon me, given to me, I'm going to use that for me to head straight forward. You're not going to see me skippity-doo-dah down that lane. No, thank you. No, sir. That's why I love women. Absolutely love women. Like, seriously. I love freaking women. If we could have a world with just women, certain women, okay? Let me change that. Certain women. Women who understand the power within each other. Please, we love strong women. And before you get after me, yes, I am one of those people who hate men. Okay, I do. I love women. I think women is power. I think God is a woman. That's just me. And I feel like if it wasn't for a lot of the women in my life who were strong, independent, and got their crap done, I don't think I would be where I was. And also, I mean, we can't also forget that they were also the ones causing me trauma. But I still, through all that, love women. I still do. They didn't. Anyway, I'm just babbling on. I just wanted to come on here, do my little Monday talk. I want to make sure that I am putting stuff out. I have so much on my plate lately. New things to come from me. And I would love to know if there's any other topics that you would like to hear, because I'm open to it. I am in my living room, no couch, girl, no couch, but I've never felt more sad in my life, girl. Life is good. Not saying that it can't be better, okay? Not saying that, but positive me, life is good. I could Could be way worse. What I'm gonna leave this conversation on is just, I feel like beauty comes out in knowledge. And ever since I've taken that and I put it out into the world, and I've come to be the person that I am today, I'm not saying that I am the most beautiful person, but there is an aura about me that has been shown. I've taken care of myself a lot more. I respect my body more. I understand my place in this world a lot freaking more. And that is because of the knowledge that I have gained from the age of 19. And thanks to baby Kirsty, whatever you want to call me, thanks to baby Casey, whatever, I'm so grateful that she took that step to make sure that we were knowledgeable. Otherwise, I could be passing on that trauma that's been passed on from generation. And I am 10 times, I don't know much about my past, but I will say I have the highest degree ever in my family. And who's to say that I'm not going to be a doctor soon? DR is calling my name. Will I be a Pilates instructor, or will I get my doctorate? How about both? Maybe I'll become a Pilates instructor so that I could pay for my doctorate, since they're just passing it out to anybody nowadays. Knowledge is power. End of story. Thank you for listening. Until next time. Peace.